Hello again, my friends. Welcome to another Midweek with Meaning. Today, we're going to be discussing what is your impact. So, hello. As you're coming on, please say hi. You can just send me some hearts and likes and all that in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, please put a replay in the comments. And hey, if you are enjoying this topic or if you find it impactful for you, please feel free to share it with your friends. Let people know about this little show. And I'm doing this all for you. So I'm Angela Ward. I am a registered nurse and soul midwife, the CEO of Guardian at the Gateway, where we help people to journey within and return renewed and healed. I am joining you today with a crown because I just felt like it. How about that? Do you ever have a day where you're like, I want to wear a crown? Also, this thing is like pokey. It's like a pokey crown. So super fun. And what the hell, once in a while. So again, welcome to Midweek with Meaning. The topic this session is going to be about what is your impact. So why are we talking about what is your impact? We're talking about this as this month we've been focusing on gratitude and focusing on how we can generate that sensation, as well as how to move from a place of kindness and generosity for others. And sometimes I think we are not clear about what impact we have on the people around us based on our actions and awareness. So the intention of this conversation is to give you some actual concrete tools to get more in alignment with the impact that you're having and your wish to impact people around you in the world. So just as a heads up, I think it's important for me to let you know where I'm pulling information from. So first of all, I took this from researchtoaction.org's article, What Do We Mean by Impact? From She Geeks Out article, Understanding Intent versus Impact, and a LinkedIn article that was called We Asked 1 Million Donors What They Care About, Answers and Impact, as well as Etymology Online and from my own coaches and work that I've been doing myself. So yeah, it's kind of this distillation pulling from all of these different areas. Of course, I like to begin by discussing the root of the word. What does impact mean? What does impact mean? So its root is quite old, and it tends to mean, in its original sense, to press closely into something, or to press into, to fix or fasten. And originally came from impacted teeth, or not originally, but that sense of to press closely into or kind of push into comes from the idea of teeth. But the sense of to have a forceful effect upon is from around the early 1900s, so like 1920s or 1930s. It also says forceful impression comes from 1817. So we can consider that impact means to have a strong effect on someone or something, or a marked effect or influence. So part of the reason I'm bringing this up is because as I've been contemplating gratitude more and more over this last month, I've been thinking about how people have impacted me. Now, impact is very neutral. It can be either negative or positive. It just kind of depends on how it's received. But when I've been really working with gratitude and the people that have had the most deep impact for me in helping me on my course and my life, there's so many people throughout my lifetime. A very early memory, I had a woman named Judy Marlatt, who was a riding instructor that I had. And it was at a time that I was really struggling in my own life. My parents were in the process of divorcing. I was 12, maybe 13. And she kind of took me under her wing and gave me a place to go to be with animals that I loved and I was a working student for her for a couple years, which in this time that I was feeling really depressed, it's right there, like talking about it, I can feel the tears are still right there. A time that was really emotionally disruptive for me. Her guidance and gentleness allowed me to have a sense of purpose and a safe place to be, even at a time that felt really difficult for me. And I will never forget that impact for her. What that did for me, so it was a loving and kind gesture, and I have a lot of gratitude for it. But the impact that it had on me is it impressed upon me the desire to help create safe spaces for people as they go through struggles, which resonates through to the work that I do to this very day. So I wonder who in your life has been really impactful for you? Who has made that resonance for you throughout your life? When I think about my personal desire for the impact I wish to have on the world, there was a time in my life when I have felt very hopeless, very much at the whims of the political system or the climate or society, and just felt like too small to be able to affect change in any meaningful way. And as I've grown in my own practice, the impact that I wish to have in the world is that I know I can't fix it. Man, I cannot fix all of the problems by any means. But what I can do and the impact I can have is to create that space for people to find their own healing. Hopefully, I can have an impact on those that through the process of working with me or working on their own path of healing and wholeness, that they then are revitalized enough to give back in their own way. Like maybe I can help the person that's going to help figure out some of the climate change stuff, or I can help the person that's going to help uh, poverty, or I can help the person that's helping people when they're sick. So that is really like how how I'm visioning my impact. My hope is that it ripples out, right? Like a little drop in a pool and has impact across time and space. So you might be wondering how to determine your own impact in the world and what effect you could have. So I want you to get your pen out, your paper out, your little notepad. You could pause the video if you're watching the replay and go get that. But there's a couple questions I want you to consider to ask yourself about the impact you want to make in the world. So the first question is, what is the difference I want to make? What is the difference? Where do you see something that you feel some attention, some energy, some support could really make a difference? The second question is the difference I make meaningful to the people I'm hoping to make the difference for, or the environment I'm hoping to make the difference for, or the situation that I'm trying to make a difference for? So when I shared, I want my impact to help heal others so they can help heal others. I think it is. I mean, what I hear back from my clients that work with me is that it's helped them just develop their capacity to serve others, or just to be okay with who they are. So the question again is, what is this difference meaningful to the intended beneficiaries, the people that will receive the benefit of your impact? If it's not meaningful to the people that you're hoping to impact, then it might not be the impact you want to have, right? It won't really be impactful if it won't make a difference to them. So, well, an example of that could be when I was in nursing school and we were doing a community nursing project. We we went to this community where we were supposed to come up with some kind of project that would serve the community. And we had all these great ideas of things that we thought would help improve their health outcomes. However, as we got to know the community, we understood that that wasn't something that they wanted. They wanted something completely different. So we were still able to use our nursing skill set, but to apply it towards an outcome that made an actual difference to them. I hope that makes sense. So that's the second question. The third question to ask yourself around impact is, how will I determine if I am moving in the right direction towards making that difference? How will I determine if I am moving in the right direction towards making that difference? So this is a challenging thing to answer, and it really depends on what your impact is. So some things could be related to data, some things could be related to observational reports, some things but we need to find for ourselves how we know that our impact, that we're working towards that goal. Because there are some cases where the impact that you're having has no measurable result. So in my research for this conversation, I've found a number of situations where people that were making philanthropic donations, for example, to certain communities, or even let's say school lunch programs where kids are getting fed school lunches, the impact wasn't that it ultimately resolved child hunger, but the impact was like sustaining a service. It was allowing it not to slip past. So it didn't show necessarily positive data, like more kids ate more food and therefore weren't hungry anymore. It was more like we're able to continue at this rate. So that could be something around like habitat restoration or things like that. So it can be a little tricky, but getting connected to that difference, is it going to make a difference for the people who want the difference? And how will you know? And of course, one of the best ways to know how you're making a difference is through conversation. If you're intending to make an impact for other people, we have to have a conversation about it. So this is how we start making that impact. Connectedness is what leads to making impact in our spaces. So it's tricky to have an impact without that relationship, because there's no feedback, there's no understanding. And truly, impact can be positive or negative. I know if you think for a moment that people that have had an impact in your life, that there are situations where someone really fucked you over, perhaps. I have a situation like that with a situation where I was fired by someone I really trusted and had a what I believed a really powerful relationship with. And then, that shifted dramatically. But that negative impact actually ended up being a blessing in disguise, which was part of our conversation around gratitude, and that in the previous episodes. So you can go back and watch that. But one of the things that negative impact really can come from situations that are top-down approaches. So, for example, if I'm working with a client and I think that they need to make a particular change because I think I know what's best for them, that can actually be re-traumatizing for someone. That can actually have a profound negative impact on them. It can make them feel like they're not doing things right, or they're broken or fucked up, or I'm angry with them. Like it just disrupts the relationship. So when we're looking at having impact, it really needs to be relational. It needs to come from a place of co-creation instead of top-down hierarchical approaches. So another piece I want to make sure that we include in this conversation is the idea of intent versus impact. So this means that our intentions don't always align with what we say or do, and this can impact how others receive what we say or do. What we say or do, regardless of our intentions, can impact people in so many ways, especially when we are not aware of the social implications. So, um, this, gosh, oh my gosh. For me, I would say that this idea goes pretty far back in my own life. And even more so in the era of Black Lives Matter, right? And understanding my privilege, I guess is the best way to say it. My privilege, and also the way that my intentions might impact someone else, and they could impact them negatively. So we can't dictate how someone reacts to us, but um, let's see, what do I want to say about that? I don't know if I necessarily want to move into this arena, especially, but I do think it's important for us to understand that when we are trying to have a particular type of impact, we need to be really clear that our impact is not treading on someone else. I saw a really great example of how impact and intentions can be misunderstood. And the illustration was of someone walking along. There's a person sitting down and someone's walking along and they step on this person's foot. And the person's like, ow, you're stepping on my foot. And the person still stands on their foot and is like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't intend to hurt you. But they're like, but you still hurt me. So in those situations, we need to understand that when we're stepping on someone's foot and our impact is actually harmful, it's important for us to apologize, even if our intentions are good, and to honor that someone's hurt is legitimate. Other people, everybody's feelings are valid. And because we can only make change happen in relationship, we can't have a good relationship if we can't come from a place where we learn to forgive and learn and become back into relationship. So that's just what I wanted to say about that piece. So, as I'm talking about this, is there anything coming to mind for you about how you would like to have an impact? I would love to see that in the chat. Or I would also be really interested to see, I'd love you to share a name with me of somebody who impacted you and how you were impacted by them, because it's really such a beautiful thing to remember. Also, I'm going to be doing this conference starting tomorrow called Impact Lives. This is from the Clinicians Business Labs, and I stumbled across it last year. And the idea behind it, clinician business labs are for people that are naturopathic doctors or nurses or like medical folk mostly, or physiotherapists, or all these different things, but to understand how to be more effective in the work that we're doing. And this this conference was so impactful for me in that it helped me realize how much more I can support people, even as just one person, and how to kind of streamline the way that I can offer and respond to the needs of people that work with me and that I call to work with. So I'm really excited to be diving back into that this week for Impact Lives and seeing in which other ways I can hopefully impact you with a lot of gentleness, growth, pushing challenging edges, but in the sense of really trying to expand who we are and become more grounded within ourselves. So I'm looking forward to that. So let us draw our card for the week to see what the Oracle has to say, the Sacred Earth Oracle has to say about impact. Last week we had, no, don't burn my hummingbird. Sometimes I draw other cards when you guys aren't looking and they get to hang out on my desk, just so you know. So last week we had alchemy. Thank you, Alchemy. That was a beautiful card. But let's see what we have for impact. Also, nobody has commented on my crown. You guys, come on. I mean, I get it if you're just a little jealous. I'm kidding. I mean, you know, I'm not 5 years old, so. I'm not 5 years old, so I don't have my sparkle wand. Okay, I've hidden my sparkle wand from you. Joking. I'm joking. I'm not joking. I don't know what I am. I'm looking for how to have impact. Consulting the cards. So, the card that wants to speak to us around impact today is what? Is what? So, what is the difference you want to make? How do you know if it's really appropriate? Oh, I got two. Oh, I got two. I didn't mean to, but we got two. Two are fun. Okay, the cards that just popped out look very similar. Oh, and actually, I think we've had them recently. Or we've had one of them. So we got magnetism, which is this one, and core, which is this one. I don't think I've had core before. So they're very similar. Here, I'm going to turn this light on. See if this light helps you see them better. Does that give you a better sense of color? There you go. Aren't they pretty? Okay. Core has, it looks like a woman holding her belly, kind of like lower upper belly. Her heart appears to be on fire. Her third eye is illuminated and radiating out, which is quite gorgeous. And she has a very blissful look on her face. Maybe the light doesn't help. Let's see. Is that okay? Come on, card. There you go. All right. Let's see what core has to say. Reaching the center of the earth would mean tunneling over 6,000 kilometers through layers of soil, rock, molten metal, and solid iron, where the heat may be hotter than the surface of the sun. Any craft journeying to the Earth's core would need to be able to withstand temperatures of over 5,000 degrees Celsius and bear the weight of approximately 3.6 million atmospheres. That's around 334,000 tons of pressure. At the center, the pressure equalizes and there is weightlessness. When external pressure becomes too much, go within and seek the light at your center. Humanity has never come close to reaching our planet's core, but observing Earth's magnetic field, seismic activity, and gravitational pull gives scientists a sense of what it is made of. They say you can never really know someone, but you can get a strong sense of what their heart is made of by observing their interactions with the world around them. That seems spot on to me around impact. Absolutely. Especially when the idea of when there's a lot of pressure going inward and finding that desire of what your impact should be, what you long for in that place. And then understanding what their hearts are made of by observing their interactions with the world around them. That speaks directly to impact. Directly to impact. Wonderful. All right. Let's just take a peek at magnetism real quick, which is interesting. We're talking about the core of the earth, which is also magnetic. And I think impact certainly can be related to magnetism too. So let's just check this one out. An invisible force, the magnetosphere, extends from the Earth's center out to space, shielding the surface of our planet from charged subatomic particles that come from the sun. These damaging particles are deflected towards the north and south poles, where they create the spectacular aurora borealis and aurora australis. The northern and southern lights skip across the sky in flashes of yellow, green, blue, red, and even purple. These natural fireworks are perhaps a celebration of the invisible forces working to protect life on our planet. Magnetism is created by the swirling motion of the molten iron around our Earth's solid iron core. It's kind of weird to me that we got these two cards right. I mean, it's not weird. It's freaking magic. It's magical. Yes. So I guess when we have little synchronicities like that, it's a sign to really, really pay attention to this. Without movement, there is no magnetism. The consequences of your actions extend beyond your immediate sphere. The stronger the action, the greater the influence. These are perfect for this topic today because I think what we need to say here is that you have impact whether you think you do or not. You have impact. That's what these are saying. You are impacting the world around you, and that you have a choice about how you do that and what your desire is. So by going inward and connecting to that internal core of your heart, so beautifully shown by this card, you can then make a choice about the impact and relational magnetism you want to carry in the world. So, hell yeah, these both seem great. So that is what I want to say about impact. And I can't wait to read what you all got to share about this one. And then just a couple announcements before we wrap up and go our different ways. The Psychedelic Doula program will be opening for applications at the beginning of December. So if you are interested in getting on the wait list, or you want to be informed when the applications are opening, please go to guardianatthegate.com/psychedelic-doula-waitlist and sign up. I will let you know when the applications are open. We will be talking about the Psychedelic Doula program in upcoming episodes of Midweek with Meaning and who this program is for. But I'd like to make an impact here to help you make an impact for others in the realm of psychedelic assisted therapy and healing. So please write that down, get that on the screen, get your name in there. What else do I want to say? Also, next week is Thanksgiving, so I will be sharing a pre-recorded Midweek with Meaning, but I'm also going to take the live day off, and I'm so grateful for you all. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for joining me here, but we'll be back next week. Please share, please like and subscribe, please comment, do all the things, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Now, go make some impact in the world. Yes. Bye.